Well, here it is, the 2022 Toyota Tundra, and this one is the Limited with the TRD off-road trim, and so far I love it. I've got a little over 500 miles on it, and it's been incredibly comfortable. The power delivery is great, it is smooth, it's quiet on the highway, but I figured it's time to take it off-road now. So I have aired down, ready to go, but unfortunately because the Limited comes with 20-inch wheels, it's got big wheels, small tires, so I've gone down to about 20. Anyway, let's get going and I'll talk more about the vehicle and the trail that we're on. The trail that we're on today is Onion Creek Road, just outside of Moab in Utah, and it is a beautiful trail at the best of times. You've got creek crossings, huge cliffs, formations all around you, but today it is snowy, so I think it's actually even prettier than last time I was here. I'm not sure how far we'll get. It does actually make a big loop that goes up into the mountains, but the snow as you go further up gets deeper, so we may not make it all the way. We'll have to see. So one of the things I noticed about this is driving on the road, it does kind of drive a little bit like a truck. It is a very comfortable ride, but it does have a little bit of that, I guess it's a shimmy from the lack of weight in the back. But off-road, this is incredibly comfortable. Right now we're at 20 PSI, where normally I'd go down a little bit lower in my old vehicle, the 4Runner. This is way more comfortable than the 4Runner ever was off-road. And visibility out the front of this is actually pretty good, especially considering it's a full-size truck. I've ridden in and I've driven other trucks where the nose goes out really far and you really can't see over the top of it very well. Whereas this, the nose kind of goes down and the view out the front's actually very similar to my 4Runner, if not a little bit better. And I think maybe the higher seating position helps with that a little too. So we've just reached the totem on Onion Creek, and I figured we'd talk about the screen a little bit. Right now up here, the 14-inch screen is awesome for navigation. I have got a GPS pulled up, which is the main one I use for navigation. You can see I've got my routes on here, my waypoints on there, but you can switch over and you can use Onyx as well. Right now I don't have any of the maps downloaded on Onyx. I forgot to do that before we came out here, but that's another useful app for finding trails, navigating along trails, and like I said, this 14-inch screen is fantastic for that. The screen also has a bunch of cameras which are very useful for off-road driving. If I push the little view button here, it switches over to the camera view. Now right now this is probably the most useless view, that's the panoramic view, and that's because I'm in park. When I shift to drive and open up that camera view, you've got a choice of a bunch of different camera views. This one I particularly like for parking because you've got a top-down view and it shows where your wheels are going. So if I'm going forward and I turn my wheels to the left, you can see that it shows where the inside tire is going, and that could be useful for off-road as well. And then this is the front camera showing basically from the center of the grille where the Toyota badge is. When I shift into reverse, it does the same thing. So this time I've got a backup camera, shows where the wheels are going to be going, shows actually where your tow hitch is too, and then same with the top-down view, so it shows where your back wheels are going to go and it shows where your front wheel is going to swing out. But you can switch to different views here. So I've got this one, shows it's a forward-looking camera from the two wing mirrors, shows where my tires are so you can see which way they're facing. And then you can switch, I can choose backup, I can look down the back, these are the back wheels here, and then there is also a off-road camera which basically looks straight down from the two wing mirrors, shows you where your front tires are going here. So if I turn, you can see which way they're going. You've got information about pitch and roll, and I can switch the camera views that you see here too. So this one actually kind of shows exactly where your tires are, where the bottom of your tires are going. And again, I can look out the back, I can look down the sides and out the back. So a bunch of different camera views. I really like them. I think this is going to be great for rock crawling. Well, maybe not rock crawling, but you know, some of the tighter trails where you maybe don't have a spotter. You can see exactly where your wheel placement is. It helps when driving a larger vehicle like the Tundra. So we just came to a mild slope, and I figured now's a good time to show you some of the other off-road features that we have. To do that, we do need to shift to 4 low. I have actually already shifted to 4 high using this little shifter here. All I have to do is, while driving along between 0 and 55 miles an hour, just push this down and pull it down to 4 high. To go to 4 low, I shift to neutral, push it down to 4 low there, and now I'm in 4 low, and I can tell because I got a little light on the dash that says 4 low. So now I have the option to switch between several drive modes. If you look here at this dial, I've got multi-terrain select, so when I push that I can now spin the dial. When I spin the dial up on the dash, you can see I can choose between, I've got rock, mud, sand, and mogul, and that changes how the traction control on here responds. I'm going to put it on mud for now, and then the next thing I've got on here is crawl control or downhill assist, and that also pulls up something up on the dash here where I can select the different speeds that I want this to go. And it's basically like an off-road cruise control. It brakes for you, puts the gas on for you. It's not something I used a lot in my 4Runner, and one of the reasons was just because it was kind of obnoxious in the 4Runner, very, very noisy. But if I take my foot off the gas, or take my foot off the brake, sorry, now, crawl control will take over and it will start driving me down this hill. So I got feet off the pedals, and it is just slowly driving me down the hill. I've got it on the slowest speed at the moment, and it is completely quiet. And if I want to go a little faster, I can just turn this dial up. So now I'm going on the fastest speed. And again, it's controlling all of the braking, all of the driving. This is one of those things that's supposed to be really good at getting you unstuck. Just the way it controls the wheels and the brakes on each individual wheel. It is supposed to be very, very effective, especially in sand. And these features are features that are unique to the TRD off-road package that you can get on the SR5 Limited and 1794 edition, and you'll also find it on the TRD Pro when that comes out. Another thing that is unique to this is the rear locker. So if you get really stuck, or you anticipate getting really stuck, you have this button here that's available in 4 low. So I'm actually going to start rolling down this hill and push it, and it will engage the rear locker. I've got a little light flashing here. It's taking a minute. This is the first time I've actually put the rear locker on, and I don't need it now. In fact, it's probably going to actually make things worse as I go around this corner. And it is now locked in the rear. So that's something that you're going to want to engage as you approach an obstacle where you think that you might need an extra little bit of traction. It's maybe got an axle twister. Basically, you're going to have to anticipate if you're going to lose traction in one of those back wheels, because it takes a little bit of rolling to get it engaged. So not everything about the Tundra is great. It does have some downsides. Toyota did make some strange decisions, like having 20-inch wheels on the TRD off-road version of the Limited. Those are far too large. You don't get nearly enough tire on there. So I plan on switching those out for 18-inch wheels and putting bigger tires on. And I'm thinking probably 37s, maybe 35s. I do worry I'll ruin it if I put 37s on. And then on the front end, there is a noticeable lack of any recovery points on here. I do think that's going to be something that's going to be easy to fix, and it's going to be remedied pretty quickly. And then the only other thing is the lack of decent skid plates. Even on the TRD off-road model, they are plastic skid plates and they barely cover anything. And I was very disappointed by that, especially when you look at the specifications. It lists skid plates, and I don't think those really count. Well, that is the end of Onion Creek Trail, and it has been an incredible day. I've been here in the summer. I've done Onion Creek Trail in the summer, and I thought it was beautiful then. But coming here in the snow is just something else. And driving in the snow has been a lot of fun as well. This Tundra has been incredible. I am so happy with this purchase. Just everything about it I love. It does have a few downsides, especially when you consider some of the things, some of the off-roading things that are missing from it. But obviously those are easy to fix. You just got to consider that when budgeting for the vehicle. If you want to see more like this in the next few days, I'm going to be taking it on a bunch of trails around here in Moab. I want to do Hell's Revenge and Fins and Things, but I need a lot of snow to melt before I'm going to do either of those. But subscribe to the channel and see what we get up to and how we end up building out this Tundra over the next few weeks. After the last couple of days on the trail in four-wheel drive, I'm down to 17.5 miles per gallon, which is not bad for trail riding. Definitely a lot better than I got in my 4Runner. Not as good as I got on the highway. So driving this through Denver, I got about 22 miles per gallon in the traffic. And then when I went across the mountains in Utah, that did drop down to just under 20.